Good afternoon and good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Freedback Friday edition of The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. And as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
No, here I am on the East Coast, on the right side of the Appalachians, if we're doing geographical references. The East Coast is the coast with the most. My name is Mike Poworski. It's a pleasure to be here with you in Viewerland today on The Rundown.
Yes. It is always fun. We very much appreciate doing the show. We appreciate Freeback Friday in particular because this is our opportunity to interact with you. So we're going to be taking your comments. Now, you may be watching us on one of our several channels, and we're on several channels. You may be watching us on 2A News, Arms Room Radio, California Republican Assembly. But folks, if you want to participate in Freeback Friday, well, you got to go to The Rundown. You can find us on Facebook, 2A News Rundown, or you can find us on YouTube. Best way to find us is just go to the URL of therundown.us, and you'll find us there as well. Now, Mike, let them know kind of what Freeback Friday is and what they might have an opportunity to win.
Freedback Friday is when you, the viewer, not you, Craig, you, the viewer, have the opportunity to make comments with us here. We're live on the air, as we always are, but today we take the time to set the gear up so we can see your comments. And those that are interactive or answer one of our questions or make the funniest comment, whatever it happens to be, whatever strikes Craig and I as, aha, that guy's the winner, wins goodies today from Grid Defense and Guerrilla Machining. So we're always happy to have them with us, and now we're happy to have you here with us on Freedback Friday.
Yes, folks, it is always fun. It is always fun. So now, for those of you who watch the show regularly, you know that we usually start the weekend like at the end of Hump Day. So that's usually a Wednesday. So that's kind of, we're revving up for the weekend, and we're trying to make the weekend start as early as possible. But it will officially, not officially, it's already officially started, but the hard deadline is when this show's over, it's party time.
Party time.
So what do you have planned for this weekend?
Well, it is Veterans Day weekend, so I'm going to actually spend most of my time back and forth between the Vet Center and the museum, helping out with some basic veteran stuff, whatever care they need, and then as well as going over the museum and playing tour guide for those that want to come see all the military aircraft from the past 100 years or so.
Well, that sounds very patriotic and community service-ish of you. I plan on just kind of doing some wine tasting. I plan on spending some time with my kids and maybe mowing the lawn.
There you go. All very good things to do on your Veterans Day weekend. No issues whatsoever. Yeah.
All very, very American things to do.
America. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
America. Yes, we do definitely believe in making sure we have fun American style.
That's right. We do. That's it. All American style. Yep. Yes, we do. And listen, for those that are going to be out there doing some Veterans Day stuff, great. Those are going to be out there cutting their grass. Have a blast doing that too. It's a weekend that the country has earned. Take a little break, take a little respite, and just have a good one and relax. On us. Tell them the Rundown sent you.
Yes, please do. Please tell them that the folks over at the Rundown sent you. So on that note, why don't we go ahead and get on into our news stories? Because as you all know that, we always tend to run a wee bit late. So it's always nice if we make it a point to share with you guys on time. So let me get this thing down. By the way, I'm working on a new computer today. So if I seem like I'm looking around a lot, it's because I'm still getting everything all set up and, behind the scenes stuff you don't need to know, but I have my newfangled gadget, my newfangled computer, which has been released from communist China and is now living freely and experiencing liberty in my office.
Yeah, as it reports back everything you say to the home office in China.
Exactly, pretty much. That's how we roll.
Exactly right.
All right, wait, let's get into the news, shall we? You guys have probably heard this, but I will report it to you once again because this is not the first. By the way, this is not the first entity that has done this. The Los Angeles Police Department, in order to combat the dramatic increase, by the way, in crime that has taken place in just about everywhere, but especially in every major urban city throughout the country, they have decided to send out notices to their citizens or to the people who live and work and supposedly enjoy life in Los Angeles, city of Los Angeles, on how to best prepare or deal with that crime. And one of the things that they noted in their warnings was they were basically telling folks, what you need to do if someone comes to rob your home or comes to rob you personally or steal from you or anything like that, just comply and do exactly what they tell you to do. That's probably the best way for you to handle being robbed. Mike, maybe it is just me, but I'm kind of that would not make me feel very, very comfortable if I were a citizen of Los Angeles and they were telling me that compliance is the only way in which I can. Well, it won't help me keep me from getting robbed, but that's their advice.
Well, Craig, this is the only thing left that they can tell you, right? I mean, you have the law enforcement, which has been, eviscerated power-wise over the last number of years. Then you add on top of that to defund the police. So they're not getting the extra training. They're not getting the extra officers. They're not getting the overtime. They're not getting anything that they need in order to even come close to protecting and serving, in which we know is not a requirement to protect and serve. That's just a motto, not a policy. Because there is no requirement to provide you with protection. Now you have, the state's attorneys or your district attorneys out there in your courts that refuse to put the bad guys in jail, even give them bonds or, keep them, before they're held for arraignment or anything along those lines. And right now they've disarmed pretty much everybody in California. So, Craig, really the only thing they can tell you left is, hey, listen, just don't fight back too hard. Maybe you'll be okay.
Well, okay, let's be real. They have not disarmed everyone in California, but they have made it much more complicated, much more challenging for you to be able to arm yourself. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, no, the reality is they've made it so that they can't police, whether it's laws decriminalizing crime or it's letting criminals out on the street and then telling the police, you can't really do anything to them while they're out on the streets. Whether it's any of those things are that is all 100% true. But what we also know in this particular case is that what they're proposing will only make potential robbers, potential people who want to rob, kill, steal, and destroy. It's only going to encourage them to do more, because what they're basically saying is, there's not really a whole lot we can do to help you out.
Yeah, this is like the warnings for bears, right, Greg? Like, you get that big. What do you guys? You got the brown bears there in California, right? The brown bear.
Yeah,
and
get the grizzly.
What do they tell you to do? You're supposed to play dead with the brown bear. Oh, look, the brown bear, play dead. It may not work, but maybe the bear will think you're an idiot and leave you alone. And that's pretty much what they're telling you right now. Is hey, don't fight back. Maybe the guy will think you're a moron and leave you alone.
Yeah, play dead because you will be dead.
It's all that's left. This is idiotic advice, and whoever's putting this out should be charged for culpable negligence. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't really disagree with you on that one, man. It is pretty darn bad. On that note, moving right along. Now we talk about violence and stuff like that. Well, you know that New York just elected a Democrat who ran on a platform of law and order. In other words, his whole thing was, look, this whole defund the police thing, no, that is not going to work. We need trained, accountable law enforcement officers in our communities in order to protect and serve and to help keep these communities safe and to hold criminals accountable. Well, Black Lives Matter is now all over the media, basically now saying that, yeah, if you put in that, tough on crime stuff that hold people accountable for the decisions they make stuff, there is going to be violence, blood in the streets. If you think that you're going to be able to do that and get away with it, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Now, Mike, I got to tell you, I'm looking at this and I'm listening to these guys say it. I'm like, this seriously sounds like not a prediction. It sounds like a threat.
Oh, it is, but this actually works out really well, Craig, because the people that the anti-crime unit will be targeting are these people that are threatening to do these riots. So it's all going to work out. They're all going to give each other something. It's going to be a good weekend for them. For those that are not familiar with the NYPD structure, you have your patrol officers. Those are your guys. The core of your PD there, wearing the blue uniforms, and then you have your various detectives, and whether it's a precinct detective or some sort of special detective unit, and those guys are all following up on crimes that the uniform guys are busy out there answering the primary calls for. So those calls come in, get processed, they end up at the detective bureau. The detectives take care of them. The anti-crime unit is a middle in between there. Anti-crime is police officers. Those are the basic officers with badges, not the detectives. These are guys that will wear undercovers. It's a plainclothes assignment. They will go out and target high crime areas, looking for particular things in crime. One of the things that was done that Rudy Giuliani started and then was reinstated once or twice under him was the stop and frisk. Now, this wasn't stop and frisk just to stop and frisk. There had to be reasonable suspicion that crime was afoot. And everybody wants to think that, oh, no, they're just out there, slamming people against the walls. And that wasn't like that. There's declared drug areas, known crime areas. And it's amazing when you contact people that are standing on a street corner in a known crime area based on the crime statistics that they have drugs and guns on them. It's really weird the way that works. So Eric Adams, a former NYPD official as well, by the way, mid-management there, has said, bring it back anti-crime. De Blasio got rid of it. I'm bringing it back. So right now the commissioners, Dermot Shea. I'm not sure if they've made a decision yet if Shea is staying or not. My recommendation to Eric Adams would be, Commissioner Thomas Magnum's doing a pretty good job there. So you may want to get a hold of him and just keep him. He's been there 11 seasons now, so he's doing a pretty good job.
Well, you would think so. You would think the way in which to help them understand is if they believe, for example, they push the idea of anti-racism, right? So if you're against racism, then obviously being an anti-racist is even better than not being racist. Well, then shouldn't anti-crime be better than not supporting crime? Right? Isn't that the direction we should be going?
Yeah, well, it's not about the terminology, right? They just know that anti-crime means that more people go to jail, and they don't like the people that are going to jail. So,
well, there you go. And here's the thing. And just a little thing that I've noticed. The people who tend to go to jail are people who get caught committing crimes.
It's very true.
Just saying.
It's kind of weird the way it works.
I'm not saying it always works that way, but most of the time it works that way.
I'm not saying, just saying.
Not saying, just saying. By the way, Fiber Optic over on YouTube, he noted that he was talking about how to handle crimes and criminals. He's like, I prefer to tell them if they come to rob my house that the front door is there for their protection, not mine.
There you go. There you go. That's how you do it.
There you go. Fiber Optic gets it. Unfortunately, LAPD does not, or at least the people who run LAPD do not. That's right. I think it's important once again, and it's hard because sometimes when we talk about LAPD or Chicago PD or NYPD, some people who work for them can get offended thinking we're talking about all cops. And we're really talking about the policymakers, the decision makers, the bureaucrats, the empty suits that in many cases are anti-liberty, who don't believe in individual rights. We know that most of you rank and file officers, we know that you do support our fundamental rights. And we appreciate the fact that you put your lives on the line every day to help us out, to protect us. Despite all the crap that those guys do.
Yep. We appreciate you. Yeah.
Right. Moving right along. Let's see, what do we have here? We have Alec Baldwin is getting sued. Mike, you want to? I'm gonna let you share this one with the folks.
Now, this really should come as no surprise. Alec Baldwin was the one who pulled the trigger on the firearm on the set of Rust that killed the director of photography there and wounded the cameraman. You knew this was going to happen. The surprising part for me, Craig, is that somebody's pushing forward with the civil suit. Now, I guess somebody really wants some cash and they want it fast. Maybe they're hoping for a settlement, because the wise thing to do here would be let the criminal process work its way through. Let the criminal process do all of the things that you would have to pay for get done in a civil trial. Depositions, testimony, things like that. If the criminal trial is going to precede it, you let those things occur. Also, with the civil trial coming before, or the civil charge coming before any potential criminal charges, now, if they go to question Alec Baldwin, if they go to deposition him, he can sit right back and say, based on the advice of counsel, I'm not saying anything based upon my Fifth Amendment rights. And they would say, normally they would say, this is a civil case, sir. You're not subject to going to jail. You have to tell us. But instead, he's going to be able to say, no, there's a potential criminal case pending. I am not speaking because anything you get here for me can be used there as well. So for me, it's a little tactical error. Unless somebody really wants to put, I don't know, $500,000 in their pocket rather than wait for the $10 million payday, they could get out of him for the wrongful death suit.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. Because once again, he's liable not just as the actor, but as an executive producer of the film.
Yep.
We pretty much know that to be the case.
Yes.
I honestly don't know if I know they're looking into it and they say they have to look into it. Honestly, other than criminal negligence, I don't know what. I mean, unless they're able to prove that some sort of intent in some way. Criminal negligence, criminal negligent homicide is probably going to be the most serious charge.
This could still be exactly right. A criminally negligent, an involuntary homicide, a culpable negligence, whatever the statute happens to read out there in Nevada, or excuse me, in New Mexico. This is going to be, and he'll probably face a charge of, the unlawful death due to negligence. Right. So however they word it beyond that.
Here's the key. The other key part of this is going to be if his argument is, look, I did everything possible. I hired an expert. That expert trained everybody, and this still happened. They have to prove that there was that he did not take reasonable steps in order to make sure that this didn't happen.
For an involuntary, negligent death, the only thing they have to prove is Mr. Baldwin, who pulled the trigger. Yeah, but so-and-so said the gun was clear. Mr. Baldwin, who pulled the trigger. We're not talking about intent. We're not talking about reckless. We're talking about involuntary negligence.
Right.
Who pulled the trigger?
Well, then you have to determine was he. I mean, well, all I will say is this: is that it depends on who the jury is as to whether or not he gets convicted.
Oh, you don't want a jury to convict you of that. You want to go with the judge. Because what's the chances, Craig, if you get some, I don't know, pro-gun people
in New Mexico,
NRA people on the jury? I'm going to go with about 50-50. Okay,
right.
You don't want that. You want the judge to rule in that case, so he goes by the rule of law rather than emotion.
That makes sense, and just goes to show, man, life on the movie set can be very, very dangerous. Or life in the movies. Well, kind of like the Ghostbusters, which Fiber Optic also says. He says the anti-crime unit is like the Ghostbusters of New York. So
it's true.
He wants to bring them back.
It's true. They are coming back, but they're coming back to a wheat field, evidently. It's supposed to be a pretty good movie, by the way. Supposed to be pretty good. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Excellent stuff. Okay, we are now going to move right along to our next story. Okay, so this one takes a little bit of explaining. Many of you may not know that there's a national organization out there called the National Association of School Boards, right? I'm a school board member. We belong to the California Association of California School Board Association. There's a national organization that represents various states. And you might remember that there was a letter that was sent from that organization to the White House and the Department of Justice telling them, oh my God, all these parents, they're going crazy and they're coming to our meetings and they're threatening our lives. Please, please help us, help us, help us. And so then the Department of Justice, then at the direction of the White House, then initiated and sent out a directive that they are going to investigate individual citizens and parents who go to school board meetings in order to, are loud and obnoxious and quote unquote threatening to school board members. Well, it turns out that, this was not just some random letter. Turns out that the president of the organization of the School Boards Association was coordinating with the White House and the Department of Justice to put together the language to go in the letter that would then in turn lead the White House to call these individuals, parents who are coming to school board meetings, asking what the hell they're doing or what they're teaching to their kids. Referring to them as domestic terrorists. So in other words, you've got the White House and the Department of Justice colluding with the school board organization to basically refer to parents who care about their kids as domestic terrorists.
It took us a while, Craig, but we found it. We have collusion.
We have
collusion.
We have actually identified collusion. It is existence. It is a real thing. Unfortunately, it's not between the Russians and Donald Trump.
Actual collusion in the White House, right? But if you talk to the White House, they're probably going to say, "Oh no, that's the collusion that was left over from Trump. It was just in here."
There you go. Clearly,
it colluded on its own. See, the collusion got together with the collusion, and they colluded. Is how it happened. So yeah, come on. This should be top story today. This should be screaming on every major media outlet that the White House and the National School Board Member Association, or whatever the name of it is, colluded to create this false narrative to try and get the results they want, which is, like you said, parents out of school boards and let the government tell you what we're going to teach, including critical race theory. You got it.
See, everything's about race. Everything's about race nowadays. Critical race theory. It's all about race.
It's all about.
By the way, did you hear that that some of the people who are being held in prison for the January 6th party at the Capitol, they're being inundated and indoctrinated with critical race theory while in prison?
Yes, they are. I have heard that. And if I had any advice to them, it would be, if you have any poo, fling it now.
If you have any poo, fling it now. Excellent, excellent. Well, let's get on to our final story of the day. Oh my, how we're moving through these pretty fast, sir.
Well, we'll just have to talk about baseball then when we're done.
Oh no, that was our final story. We're on to parting shots.
Yes, it is.
What do you know? We're on to parting shots. Now, this particular parting shot, this one, well, you guys know that there was a big, huge climate summit that took place recently. And we all know. There was. Believe it or not, there was. I know. You all know this because you guys follow this stuff.
Was that the one where the president pooped himself in Italy?
It's the one where he fell asleep.
Or in England?
It's the one where he fell asleep. It was. I don't remember if he pooped himself before the summit or I think it was after the summit. He pooped himself.
So pooped himself before and after the summit. He fell asleep at the summit.
Or as the British would like to say, before he shat himself.
Yes, so I do believe you shat yourself, old boy.
That had to be what the Duchess of Cornwall had to say. She's like, "Oh my! I do believe you've shat yourself."
You've shat yourself. He's like, my butt's been wiped.
So, anyway, this was Well, I'll just share it with you because this is how they fight climate change. Nothing will say stop climate change more than 400 private jets, Biden's 85 car motorcade before the summit, 20 car motorcade to go to the summit, all to fall asleep at the summit.
He's not asleep. He just pulled his mask up over his eyes. That's all. Cover your mouth, your nose, and your eyes, and you'll be okay.
Shocking. Shocking, I say, shocking.
I do believe he shot himself.
That's what he's doing right now. He's concentrating.
Yep. Exactly right.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. All right, Mikey. Well, I got to tell you, Fiber Optic was on fire today. Even though he was he wasn't our lone commenter, but he was definitely our most prolific commenter. He was on YouTube. So if you have no objections, I am going to say that he will be our winner today.
Yes, he could be our winner. I have a little gnat that was just flying in front of my face and just like teasing me. Like it was look. I don't know if you can see it. He was like,
"Oh yeah, you got it, Mr. Miyagi. Look at you."
Yeah. It was like, you can't get me, and you're on camera, so you're supposed to pretend I'm not here. And I was like, oh no, because you're looking at my nose or something. And I'm not you're going down.
That is hilarious. All right, well, Fiber Optic, you're a winner today.
I have this net for Fiber Optic. We're gonna send it.
There you go. You're gonna win a net, Mr. Optic.
I think we've got some T-shirts. We got some T-shirts. We'll send out. Those are from our good friends at actually Defense. Just told us they have a whole bunch of shirts working on with them. Grid Defense is going to be joining Guerrilla Machining as one of our sponsors at the Shooting Hunting Outdoor Trade Show, January 18th to the 21st. So they will be out there with us in Las Vegas.
Folks, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing. We'll be doing some random interviews and live feed. We're not just going to be doing our regular show. Well, we probably will be doing the regular show, but we'll be setting up as we do interviews with folks. We'll be popping them up and letting you guys check them out and, doing some live feeds and showing you some stuff. Especially folks from California, you're going to get to see some of the stuff that we're not allowed to have in California. So we're going to get to see what free America gets to enjoy.
Well, I mean, it's Vegas. We're not going to show all of it, Craig, but we're going to.
Well, at that gun show, I'm not talking about everything. I'm just talking about the stuff at the gun show.
Well, you and I have done some interviews after hours at SHOT Show and
Booze with Deleuze. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Look those up on YouTube. Those are fun.
Yeah. Those were good.
Vegas is always fun. If you guys decide to come on down for it, we'll be on Media Row. Come on down. If you're there and you're in SHOT, you're at SHOT, because not just anybody can get in. But if you're there, come on by and say howdy. Now, hopefully not while we're actually on the air.
Yeah. If not, we'll have a couple events in the evenings where we will be on the air, so you can still come join us.
Most definitely. Well, anyway, folks, that's going to do it for today's program. We very much appreciate you liking. We appreciate you sharing and subscribing and telling your friends, encouraging your friends to do the same. Please have a fun-filled, firearm-hopefully-filled weekend. Hopefully practicing, having a good time, maybe cleaning, no having to use it. But hopefully you guys have a good time. Hunting. That would be a good use. And anyway, folks, take care. We'll talk to you again on Manic Monday.
Have a great weekend.